Hey everyone, happy Saturday. So this morning I was in my Bible and something stood out to me and I felt like God just wants me to share it with you, with people. So I'm in Luke 12:35 through 40, right? And I'm just going to read the whole thing and then I'm going to go through what stood out to me, as I have a whole bunch of notes here and there are things that need to be said. Okay. Verse 35 starts with, stay dressed for action and keep your lamps burning. Be like men who are waiting for their master to come home from the wedding feast, so that they may open the door to him at once when he comes and knocks. Blessed are those whom the master finds awake when he comes. Truly I say to you, he will dress himself for service and have them recline at the table, and he will come and serve them. If he comes in the second watch or in the third and finds them awake, blessed are those servants. But know this, that if the master of the house had known at what hour the thief was coming, he would not have left his house to be broken into. You also must be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an hour you do not expect. So if we start with Luke 12:35, right, things that stood out to me the most were stay dressed, action, and keep your lamps burning. And this piece of scripture basically is talking about readiness. It's talking about the openness. It's a positioning, right, where you're being prepared, you're willing and eager to receive type of thing, right? But when I read stay dressed, what really came to me was stay armed. Like put on your armor of God daily and remain open to receive, but also stay protected against the enemy's attacks. And that's Ephesians 6:10 through 20. Yes. Okay. Thank you guys. So in the morning, if you think about it, we are getting ready, right? We get dressed. And we get ready, right? We brush our teeth, whatever, go through our routine, and then we get dressed. And after we get dressed, that's when the action comes in, right? And that's what I love the most about that part, anyways. But also, staying dressed means standing firm in position no matter where you are in life, no matter how scared you are, no matter how confusing it is right now in this season. I feel like there's so many people right now that are just in this weird, confusing season that makes absolutely no sense, but they're remaining in their faith and they're trying to stay planted even though, God's not really answering. God just wants us to be ready, be vigilant, be firm in your faith. And like I told somebody, I think it was my sister, like I told her early in the week, right? Remaining in your faith is basically walking blind. You're walking in the unknown blind, and you really don't know what's going to happen next until God gives you the next instruction. And that's basically what's happening here, right? So staying dressed for action is for protection, right? And protection of the enemy's agenda in the spiritual. So basically we are to remain firm in our faith, like I said, but also guarding our gates, our eye gates, our ears, hearts, etc., as the enemy is heavily attacking God's people right now, heavily. And I think the agenda right now is just distraction, to numb people, to dull their senses, and to have them fall asleep. And that's exactly what the scripture is speaking against, because he wants us ultimately to be ready. So where it says also, as we armor up, we aren't just guarding our gates, we're actively seeking the Lord, meaning that we're in our Bibles, we're stepping into the obedience, right? We're not cowering away in fear. That was a major thing. We're also asking for revelation, but also asking for breakthrough, because without the revelation and the breakthrough, there is no growth, right? So we're actively seeking to better ourselves, you know. We're also taking care of our health and our bodies. We're paying attention to what our bodies need, what our minds need in order to gain that clarity that we need in order to stay vigilant and move forward in our callings or in our purpose, right? But also, major one that I wrote down is in caps, and listening. Listen for the instruction, listen for the next step, next action step, right? And then verse 36 says, you know, be like men who are waiting for their master to return. In the word waiting, you're basically watching for the most opportune time, right? And in regards to time, I actually posted this on Facebook though. Right now, we are in a time where things are about to start speeding up, right? I will post that on here. I created a YouTube video of a prophetic message that God basically gave me, that there is what I saw was a pendulum swinging, right? And it was swinging at a rapid rate, and I felt like God just said, I'm speeding up time. So what may have taken somebody like 6 months is going to happen in 6 weeks. What may have taken somebody like 5 years is going to happen in 5 months. Time is speeding up, meaning we're going to be operating in Kairos time and not Chronos time. Kairos time is God's timing, that divine moment where everything just aligns, makes sense, and you can't make sense of it, but it's on God's timing. And then Chronos is basically just chronological time that we operate in now, right? So that opportune time is going to happen in Kairos time, and if we're not positioned in the right place, in the waiting and the watching, then we are going to miss that time. Verse 37 says, it will be good for those whose master finds them watching. And what I got from that was, meaning those who remained vigilant will be rewarded. Those who stayed in position, stayed in their faith, even if they fell off of their faith, that they came back and said, you know, they repented. It's like a constant repentance. If you're in that cycle, I want you to give yourself grace, and also be bold and courageous enough to keep standing up, keep showing up, and keep showing God that you're in this and you're committed, and you're waiting for the blessing, but maybe you get lost sometimes, and that's okay. That's completely okay. I felt the need to say that. But also remaining vigilant will be rewarded. Therefore, don't allow your enemies to numb your senses and put you to sleep. Like, don't allow the enemy to get you comfortable, basically, right? Don't get lazy in what you need to do, right? If God is telling you to do something, do it. Don't hesitate. Don't procrastinate, because it's not even worth it. Like, if he's telling you to do it now, it's for a reason, and maybe that reason, maybe it's not for now, maybe it's for later. I've had things like that happen to me a lot, especially building my business recently. There were videos like the pendulum swing video that I literally just mentioned. It wasn't a thing. It had nothing to do with anything, but in that obedience, now I'm showing up and I'm talking about it now, and it's needed now. Okay. So sometimes he'll tell you to be obedient for something, and it's for later. Just do it. It doesn't matter if it makes sense. It doesn't matter what platform you put it on. Just do it. Just do it. Okay. I'm gonna keep saying that. Just do it. You're not losing anything from it. Just do it. You're going to gain heaven. Okay. You're going to gain treasures in heaven just to do it. Like, there's just no reason. Okay. Big part of this. Also, you don't want to be put to sleep because there is major spiritual activity happening. There are a lot of things coming. In the pendulum swinging video, I actually talked about there's a time that is coming, and there's going to be war, there's going to be famine on the earth, and it will be unleashed. And then also, like the end said, the Son of Man will return, and you need to be aware and awake for when that opportune time comes. Because if we aren't willing and ready, we're going to miss it. And I am going, just for that simple fact that I even just said that, I am going to either link that on the top in the bio or in the comments on Facebook, wherever you're watching. Okay, so if we go on, verse 38 says, even if he comes in the middle of the night or towards daybreak, meaning no matter how late, no matter how inconvenient it feels for you, you need to be ready. This is not a time to be playing. It is not a time to be, again, procrastinating. And it's not a time to be going back and forth, double-minded, basically, is what I'm trying to say. It is a time for you to have a sound mind, for you to find your peace, for you to find, find your peace in your mind. He does not want you to be double-minded. He doesn't want you to be pulled back and forth. There doesn't need to be a never-ending confusion, okay? You need to be ready, like now. Yeah, felt that. I feel that, and I feel that so deep, and I've felt that for a while now. And then verse 39 continues with, if the owner knew that the thief was coming, he'd be ready. We know that the thief is always ready. Okay, the enemy is ready. He's always ready. He's ready and willing and open to come and take something, come and destroy something, come and make it seem like he may have destroyed something, when in reality he hasn't. At the end of the day, we need to be aware. We need to be watching. We need to stand our ground, stand firm. And I'm going to keep stressing this because it's so important. So important in this day. I don't know if anybody's paying attention to what's happening in the earth and what's happening in the war, what's happening like around us in the spiritual. That's a whole nother conversation, but there are a lot of things happening just within the war, the stock markets, everything. There's just so many nuances that just points to the fact that there are a lot of things happening and we need to be aware. Okay, after that, like I said, verse 40 says, you must also be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an hour you do not expect. Let me tell you something. We are literally entering a time where Jesus is right there, ready and willing to cross that threshold. He is coming. And when that pendulum starts swinging and we start operating in Kairos time, that means that we're operating in the heavens time, okay? Time does not work in the spiritual the same as it does in the physical, okay? And I'm talking, this is what I'm talking, okay? And I'm going to make this very clear. This is what I wrote down. Every prayer that has yet to be answered, all the chains that have yet to be broken, all the mental blockages you have been praying for to be removed, all the addictions you have prayed over that seem to not have moved or gone anywhere, or it still exists, all the witchcraft you have petitioned to break in the courts of heaven, okay, all of that, all of it. You have a child that is acting crazy, a husband that, you know, maybe is acting crazy too, or maybe you just need to leave. Something needs to break. Something in your life is just not moving forward. There is stagnancy. It's all about to break. Every single thing is about to break. There's all sorts of chains that are falling and they're all on fire. All of it's about to break. Every single seed that you've already planted, you're about to be reaping a major harvest, just for the fact that you've been doing what you need to do in your obedience, building, growing, doing the work for yourself and for other people in the marketplace. So depending on where you are positioned in life, whatever you are doing right now, whatever you're called to, it's coming. It's coming, and we have to be ready, okay? There is a major happening coming upon all the nations far and wide, both physically and spiritually, so you must be alert. Or if you're not alert, you risk being left behind, and I felt like I really need to say that. You're going to be left behind. And I don't have all the details on what exactly that means, but if you're not in God's bubble, I can guarantee it's not a good thing. So major breakthroughs and spiritual movements in the kingdom are coming on our behalf. And then the last thing in verse 35, it says, the last thing that stood out to me was keep your lamps burning. And I just wanted to touch on this. So earlier in the week, I went through Luke 11:34-36, and it basically in the beginning says your eye is the lamp of your body. When your eye is healthy, your whole body is full of light, but when it is bad, your body is full of darkness. Therefore, be careful lest the light in you be darkness. If then your whole body is full of light, having no part dark, it will be wholly bright as when a lamp with its rays gives you light. And basically what that's saying is that our eyes are an extension to our brain, okay? In the womb, our eyes form from the same tissue that comes from our brain. Because of this key part in the eye, especially the retina, it's considered a part of our central nervous system. Therefore, when light enters the eye through the cornea and the lens, it hits the retina at the back of the eye, right? Which means your brain is seeing and your eyes are collecting data. If you are not focusing on what you need to focus on in this moment of time, then darkness will enter your body and you will not be whole. You will forever be dysregulated. You will forever be double-minded. You will forever feel like you are in limbo, and there would be no clarity. There would be no ability to stay awake and be alert at this time, right? But also, what was I trying to say? Sorry. If your whole body, right, is full of light, it will be completely illuminated, right? Your whole body implies to not just mental, but physical, emotional, spiritual. So be on guard, be alert, keep your lamps burning, i.e. keep yourself burning, okay? There is an oil. The old school lamps has this oil that you put into it, and that's what keeps it burning. You need to continue to operate in your oil, in your calling, in your position, in your purpose, and keep that oil flowing. Keep it flowing, baby. Outpour, and then ask for God to repour. Outpour, repour. Stick with the rhythm. If you don't stick with the rhythm, you're going to miss a very, very important, opportune time that is coming in this season. Do not fall asleep. Stay alert. Be awake. And you got this.